According to a fierce survey, 86% of employees and executives cite ineffective collaboration and communication as the leading cause of workplace failures. An effective corporate communication strategy fosters a positive work culture and drives employee engagement. From developing and crafting key messages that align with the company's brand, values, and objectives, to providing support and guidance to senior executives for their public appearances, speeches, presentations, our corporate communications team here plays an integral part in shaping the narrative and perception of Inovalon, both internally and externally. This team ensures consistent and transparent communication channels, facilitates employee advocacy programs, manages crisis communications, and leverages various platforms to amplify our brand message. Welcome to our LinkedIn Live chat. My name is Whitney Swistock. I'm the Director of Corporate Communications here at Inovalon. And today, we'll delve into the intricacies of internal and external communications, discussing the impact of clear messaging on employee morale, organizational cohesion, and brand perception. Get ready for insights, tips, and real-world examples that showcase the power of strategic corporate communications in driving success and fostering a thriving workplace culture. I am joined by two fantastic individuals, and I will let them introduce themselves now.
Thank you, Whitney. Hi, everyone. My name is Justine Giancola. I am the Senior Manager of Corporate Communications at Inovalon. So I handle our internal comms, executive announcements, presentations, corporate events like our town halls, as well as our external corporate messaging. So kind of think of that non-product focused content. Ultimately, my goal is to deliver effective, meaningful communications internally and externally through working closely with stakeholders from across our business. So a little bit about me. I actually started my career on the product marketing lead gen side of the house. And over the last few years, moved over to communications. And I actually have a degree in journalism, so probably a better fit. But I have just been loving the work on the corporate communications team. And like Whitney said, an effective corporate communications strategy is so important to any successful business. So really excited to be here talking about this today.
Hi, everyone. My name is Avery Allen, and I am the Corporate Communications and Marketing Intern here at Inovalon. I work with Justine and Whitney on all aspects of internal communications. I've been an intern for about a year now, but I'm excited to share that I will be transitioning to a full-time role with the company this summer. It's been an incredible journey so far, and I'm thrilled to continue growing with this team. A little bit about me. I recently graduated with my master's degree in marketing and management communications from Florida State University. Go Noles. I'm just starting out my career, but I'm very passionate about the work that I've been doing, and I'm eager to see where it leads me. So today I'm looking forward to diving into the impact of corporate communications. Let's get started.
Yes, let's dive right in. So corporate communications, it's a broad topic. Different companies do it different ways. It covers so many areas of the business, both internally and externally. Let's talk a little bit about what it looks like here at Inovalon. Justine?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even in just the last few years, seeing kind of the evolution of what comms is at Inovalon, started as a much smaller team, really kind of focused on one business unit, actually, and was siloed, separated from the rest of the marketing org. And over the last few years, we have just become this, I don't want to say voice of Inovalon, but we're like the channel that helps all of the voices within the enterprise get their message across. So, taking a more strategic approach to communications. And we'll get into a little more detail on this as we go, but this communications council. So working really closely with stakeholders across the business to say, okay, what are the things that are important to your area of the team? How do we need to communicate them? Someone might come to us and say, this is how we want to get a message out. And our function is now able to kind of guide and inform on what are the best ways to do that? What are the most effective ways to reach employees? So the function has evolved drastically over the last few years. It's been really exciting to be a part of that. And then even further, we're growing our team. Like we have Avery on, like she said, she's starting full time in this summer. So cannot wait for her to be here full time, but growing the team, growing the way we do things. And it's just been really cool to be a part of.
Yeah, during my time here, we've definitely accomplished quite a bit between restructuring our internal newsletter, establishing the Enterprise Communications Council, as Justine said, and transitioning our main intranet to SharePoint. So we took the strategic initiative to transition our weekly news recap to a corporate internal newsletter with the main goal to really try and increase our engagement. So we wanted to offer employees a more dynamic and informative resource. So along with enterprise announcements, which we had in our previous weekly recaps, we wanted to incorporate more visually engaging elements, recognize employee achievements, provide essential and useful information, and even add a little bit of fun in there. So the result was the creation of the Inovalon Insider that is delivered in a new email format with a refreshing look and feel. And after hearing such positive feedback from people across the enterprise, we decided to actually submit it for the Reagan Employee Communications Newsletter Award. And we ended up being finalists for that. So that was something we're really proud of as a team. Another corporate strategy that we've implemented this year to communications is the migration of our intranet from WordPress to SharePoint. So by leveraging technology like SharePoint, we have been able to provide a more user-friendly platform for our employees and also facilitate greater transparency throughout the organization. Technology like SharePoint, Teams, and Viva Engage really offers a wide range of advantages, such as improved document management, enhanced team collaboration, and a more centralized hub for enterprise information. By successfully migrating our intranet to SharePoint, we can help empower employees to stay informed, engaged, and connected with one another through a more seamless communication network. And before I bring it back to Whitney, I did want to mention in the coming weeks that the Inovalon Insider will also be transitioning to SharePoint. So make sure to keep an eye out for that.
And transitioning to SharePoint with the newsletter, you know what that means, more data. So really excited to hear how that starts to perform as we launch that. We do have a couple comments and questions from the audience. Wanted to address that. Carly does say go Knowles. So you've got some supporters in the audience there. Also wanted to pitch a question over probably to you, Justine, especially as a former product marketer. How do you measure the impact of storytelling on product marketing initiatives? I know we sit at the corporate level, so we get to see kind of across all business units, but really wanted to hear from you. I know we'll talk about storytelling in a little bit, but from a product marketing perspective, how does that storytelling help with those folks' initiatives?
Having kind of that overarching corporate voice and story that then informs the rest of the messaging per business unit, per product. You know, we do have a number of different products, a number of different business units. However, we are still Inovalon. We're still one company. So I think the corporate comm kind of role in influencing product marketing is just to reinforce that overall corporate brand message, and just make sure that the way we're communicating externally is cohesive and consistent across all those lines of business.
Awesome. Well, speaking of listening to and engaging with, talked a little bit about how employee engagement works here at Inovalon. How are we listening? How are we engaging with our employees?
Yeah, I mean, I could go on about employee engagement and how critical that is to the function of corporate communications. So, you know, we do an annual survey where we ask our employees for a number of different points of feedback, but one of those is communication. And, you know, over the last few years, we saw some feedback that was saying people wanted to, you know, they wanted more communication, wanted more clear communication, more transparent communication. And over the years, we have seen that score start to improve. And it's been really cool to see that. And I have to say that is absolutely not a pat on the back for corporate communications. That is an enterprise initiative to look at that feedback and to make changes accordingly. But that's just one of those areas where we are, you know, we pay attention and we're trying to inform the changes that we're making, to show our employees that we're hearing them, we're listening, and we're making changes. And I think another kind of facet of employee engagement is, you know, giving employees a way to feel connected. And this runs throughout the organization, but one thing that corporate communications has recently rolled out, which I'm just so excited about, is we call it One Inovalon Connect. One Inovalon is kind of an internal initiative, but essentially is the idea that, we have all these different business units. We've got lots of different product lines. We serve a number of areas of healthcare, but we are still, like I said, we're one organization. We're all working toward the same goal, the same mission. And this One Inovalon Connect is I don't even like to call it a meeting, but is a meeting that we hold once a month, and employees from across all business units, all departments, every employee at Inovalon joins this call. And it's not so much a town hall. We're not so focused on, business results and those typical business updates. It is more of a, promoting teamwork, promoting different achievements, accomplishments from different teams, even in some cases down to the individual. It's just a different way to engage employees. And if there's, for organizations watching who maybe are looking for new ideas or different ways to connect employees outside of kind of those standard channels, this is one that, while it's newer to our organization, so far has been really successful. I mean, we're even having every month we'll have a leader, an executive leader come on, and whether it was a customer facing initiative or even just something internal, if it was a team or an individual, we'll have an executive leader come on and give a shout out and say, thank you for the work that you're doing. And it's genuine, it's authentic. I mean, imagine you've been working for the last however long month. I mean, we have projects that are 6 months long, people are working on, and the president of the company gets on to say, hey, corporate comm, thank you so much for everything you're doing. Like, it's a really great way to engage employees, make them feel connected. And like I said, I could go on and ramble about this forever, but it's more, employee engagement is more than just rah, feel good. It ties back to the business and the success of an organization. So you're looking at things like employee retention, satisfaction. Those are critical components to the success of an organization. So you want to make sure that your employee engagement efforts are, that they're a priority. So I think we're doing a good job of prioritizing employee engagement at Inovalon. I'm excited to be a part of it.
Well, and talk a little bit about how many people tune in every single month to the OIC, the One Inovalon Connect.
Yeah, it's we're upwards of 800 people. It's certainly getting the engagement there. And that's another really cool thing about this call is, and like Avery talking about all the different tools that we're using and the technology. We just host this it's a Teams meeting. So not a Teams Live, just a Teams meeting. People join, and the chat is, we get someone saying, Avery, great job on XYZ. And then the whole chat is just blowing up and saying, oh, congratulations, Avery, great job. Like, it's so cool to see that many people all coming together to kind of cheer each other on.
Right. Heart emojis everywhere, hand claps. Yeah. Love to see it. From 600 to 800 of our favorite and closest employees. One more question from the audience. Karina asks, what strategies do you employ to communicate corporate values and culture, both internally and externally? Justine?
I'm really on this OIC train right now, but I mean, that is another one where we rolled out these success factors. And again, that is an organizational effort. Our success factors are it's our competency model, and every month we have people who are nominated and then win for whatever that competency model is or value. We have our inspired award. Inspired is our values. Each letter stands for a value. So employees can nominate their colleagues for a pretty big award. So again, where corporate communications plays in is the Inspired Award. All of these programs are not run by corporate communications, but our role is to help employees understand that they're there, how to use them, and to help promote these really great programs that other departments within Inovalon are doing a great job of running.
Awesome. Well, Mary says, congrats on your new role, Avery. I know the folks on this call that I can see are very excited about it. So great to hear from the audience as well. Thank you, Mary. Would love to hear a little bit more from Avery. So Avery, back to you. Can you tell me a little bit more? We've talked about how we engage our internal employee audience. How are we engaging stakeholders these days internally in our new ways that we've thought up?
Yeah, so recently we've implemented a new way to engage stakeholders, and that is through our communications council. So this council was built to ensure alignment across departments throughout the enterprise. and also help to provide guidance on how to most effectively communicate with each other and with the enterprise. So on a monthly basis, we connect with council members to share updates and gather feedback on any communication initiatives that are going on at that time. And this regular check-in really helps to maintain consistent messaging and foster collaboration. And it ultimately drives stronger engagement, as Justine was just talking on, and cohesive communication across the organization.
Right. It's not just our team. We could sit here. Justine could probably take up 2 hours of our time, and we won't today. But it's not just our team. It's the whole business trying to tell a story, and we're just the ones elevating it. Right. So let's talk a little bit about the importance of collaboration with these folks to deliver the story. How are we doing this?
I mean, I think even so storytelling, I think a lot of times you might think corporate kind of external messaging, like telling our corporate story, but for the purposes of what our function does, it's almost more of, even if you have one email that has to go out that has one update or one CTA, but how can you do that in a way that even just in that one announcement, you're telling a story enough for someone who, we have hundreds of emails coming in all the time. Everyone is busy. So you get an email from Inovalon Communications. Okay, what am I looking at? What am I getting out of this? And ensuring that a story is told even on just a simple announcement. So again, those are through our comms council, the collaboration with our stakeholders, being able to kind of work together to how to best tell those stories. And, even what Avery has done with not only the newsletter, but just our standard internal email formatting, the visual elements of a simple email has a lot to do with the engagement. Are people reading? Am I going to want to go from top to bottom on this email? So I think the visual refreshes have been huge. But then there's kind of the literal storytelling that we're also doing. And back to that One Inovalon initiative, we have developed these One Inovalon stories, and they're short, but every month we want to highlight something that is happening across the business that exemplifies that One Inovalon mission of teams from different business units, different departments coming together, whether it's for an internal initiative, something customer facing, but just highlighting those stories of teamwork. And it's, again, those things are already happening. It's just corporate communications coming in and finding a way to highlight and to share so that more people are aware of all of the great work that's happening across this company.
I love that. And it all leads back to that employee advocacy that we're trying to promote. And I think that's a great segue into a question we got from Carly. What role does the communications team play in talent acquisition? How can the communications team collaborate with this TA department to attract world-class talent and position a brand as an employer of choice?
Yeah, I mean, that is, and this is something that if any of our TA friends are on the call, they're like, Justine, we were waiting for you to draft some messaging for us. But it's kind of back to that, what I was saying earlier about even the product marketing. It's taking that overall corporate message, who we are, why what we do matters, and adapting that message to, a prospective employee. And I think we've always been, HR is probably one of our closest partners. There's just always a lot to communicate internally, especially, but like looking at talent acquisition, I think this is a whole new arena for us to really further collaborate and attract top talent with, collaboration on the right messaging.
Well, one more question from the audience, unless something compelling rolls in here. What advice would you give to a professional looking to improve their storytelling skills, especially in the corporate communications lens? One piece of advice.
I think know your audience. That would be my I ramble, but that's my one piece.
I love it. Because short and sweet.
Okay, yeah.
Not that I'm cutting you off. So you mentioned our visual refresh. We've gone through a lot. A lot of it has been publicly announced through our brand refresh efforts earlier in the year. We have this great brand repository we like to call Brand Central. We also launched through our internal channels. We like to call it social forces. So how do you really enable the entire workforce to be better on social media? It's such an easy avenue to promote both your personal brand and your employer brand. I know behind the scenes, we've got our social media director that makes us look and sound good. So thank you, Hey Jen. And all of these resources are right at the fingertips of our employees. They're equipping them with the tools that they need to succeed. It really helps them be advocates for our brand, our values, and our mission. Before we wrap up, I want to note it's important to track and measure the success of what we're doing. Here at Inovalon, data is key. Data is in everything that we do. So here in corporate communications, Avery, how do we measure our communications impact?
Yeah, measuring success is definitely a crucial part of effective communication. And with our recent migration to SharePoint, we now have greater insight into key metrics such as engagement rates, article reads, page visits, and site traffic. Additionally, in the Inovalon Insider, we have also introduced surveys to gain valuable feedback on our content and understand a bit more about readership levels by tracking employee participation there. And these insights really allow us to continually refine our strategies and enhance our performance. So by leveraging data like this, we can consistently improve our communication efforts and drive overall success.
I love that. I love a good survey. It's such a great way to get feedback, both quantifiable and qualitative. That was a lot, friends. That was quite a lot. I'd love to close by saying that one of the most visible ways that we show up as both a corporate communications function as well as our entire marketing team is our Empower event. It's an opportunity for our customers, industry and technology experts alike to come together in October for an annual data-driven healthcare summit. Visit our website for more information. Thank you to our amazing communications team for sharing these valuable insights today. Remember, communication is the key to success, and your work truly makes a difference at Inovalon and beyond. Watch our page for more LinkedIn Lives coming soon with Inovalon. Thank you all.
Thank you, guys.